Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here again with my journal, and I've brought along, as you can see, a whole bunch of different things to cover the cover with. So obviously it's a fabric cover. I mean, look at how chunky this journal now is. It's huge. And I've brought along some of my snippet rolls that I thought just might look really good on this cover. And you can probably see, I mean, I think this is a really nice match for this journal. So I think I'm going to add some of that. I've obviously got some of my laces and things that we used in the journal itself, which I think would look really good too. So I'm just going to start sort of cutting things around, playing with them, and you know, seeing how we get on. I'm just going to raise my camera because obviously, you know, the journal's quite chunky and big, so as to hopefully fit it all in on the screen. So yeah, hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. So let's just have a look and see what we've got. Obviously in the journal I predominantly used a mishmash or a mixture of this and this green lace. So it would be really good to be able to incorporate some of, you know, both of these really, because obviously then that's going to bring a bit of continuity to the cover, you know, is what I think anyway. I don't know whether you guys necessarily like to do things like that. So I'm just going to chop this down here. Like that, and then that's a bit less hanging around on my desk as well, which will make it a little bit easier for fitting everything on. So what I might do is cover the actual spine with this green piece, which I think looks really pretty, and then I'm thinking maybe kind of pop our snippet roll piece, you know, across or something like that. I mean, I really like things like that and think they look really pretty. I've also brought along a couple of my fabric flowers that I've made sort of previously. I think I actually made these on a video because I thought they might look quite nice as well. But if not, I've also brought along some of my Hawaiian flowers that we coloured because I thought they may, you know, look really good because they're obviously a really nice contrast in, you know, deep colour. And then I've got a couple of book plates here that again, you know, I maybe would like to put somewhere. So I think the first thing for me is probably glue down this piece here because I do really quite like how that looks, I think. So we'll pop that onto there. Now I haven't decided what I'm going to use as my closure, but I mean I might just use something like some ribbon or something, you know, after it's finished. So I'm just going to go along some of my thicker, you know, more filled in parts of the lace here, just to attach the lace onto the cover. Just, you know, in the first instance, just to get it sort of attached basically in the first place. So we'll just press that down here. Now I quite like my lace overhanging a bit. You can probably see at the ends it's overhanging. That's just personal preference. I mean, I just quite like that type of thing. But I mean, of course, you know, do what you like best. I mean, I just quite like that. When I cut it flush, to me, that just looks a little bit, you know, what would I describe it as? You know, a bit ordinary and a bit, I don't know, not so eclectic, not so kind of junky. It looks a little bit too neat and tidy. Which I'm not so keen on that look. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you quite like that look, then you could cut your lace down to be flush with the journal. I may trim it down slightly after, but I do like it generally, you know, overhanging a bit. I mean, that might be a little bit much, but I would probably leave it more like the bottom piece probably. So just kind of trimming this piece. In fact, we'll just do that now. So I just then trim that off. Okay, like that. And that just, you know, tidies it up but still leaves it hanging. I'm just going to trim this bit because it's a little bit sort of curling over. So there we go. Morning, sweetie. Oh, it's my husband. I thought it was my son. Thank you. He's just bought me a cup of tea. Right, so I thought that was my son waking up. Well, he is awake because I just went in and said hello, but I thought it was him getting up. I mean, it is nearly lunchtime, I have to say. Right, so with the snippet roll, I'm going to probably ink it up because you can probably see I've got a little bit of white just showing through there. So if I just ink it up a little bit, it will just sort of cover that up. And I just want to check that I'm going to be putting it, you know, the right way, as in the way I want it to go, rather than, you know, not the right way. I mean, I could use the snippet roll itself as the closure. So let's just have a look at that. I did do this recently with a folio and I loved how that worked. So let me just move the snippet roll a little bit over. I love these snippet rolls. I can't tell you how much I love them. I mean, honestly, I was like the last person to make one, I think. But since I've made them, I absolutely love them. So yeah, I could do with making some more. So I might have to do some more soon. So I'm thinking if I cut it here, so if I just sort of tuck that down so as you can see how that would look. So it would be like that. We could do that. I don't know whether I want to do something more covering things up here. I can't decide, to be honest. Maybe I need a sip of my tea to spur me on. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to try, because I haven't got any of this lace on here yet, so you know, we might find it goes completely differently once we get some other laces on. So I just chop this down, you know, in that raggedy style. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're doing some crafting, doing some nice things. What do you like best as your covers? Just wonder whether you like to do fabric covers, or you know, what do you like best to cover your fabrics or cover your covers with? I'm not sure now. I quite like it like that, actually. So now I'm thinking I'm not going to have the snippet as the closure. So let's just bring in a flower. Oh, I don't know now. I also had one of my little stamp clusters, which I thought might be quite nice on the cover. The only thing is, it's quite fragile because obviously that's just paper. So I don't generally, you know, like mixing things like that because I don't feel like it's very robust on the cover. So let's just try that. That's quite nice, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I think, is just cut my snippet, and actually I might cut it here so that it wraps around the book, but it's not the closure, if you see what I mean. So I just snip it along here. Yeah, I think maybe I might have to do these for my next video, some more snippet rolls. I mean, as I say, I did kind of get, you know, down that kind of path where I kept on making them, so I have got quite a few, but I absolutely love them. So they're really addictive to make. So yeah, I might just make some more, to be honest. Right, so I'm going to just ink this up. I'll just move the journal out of the way so I've got a bit more room on the desk. We'll just then, oops, pull in my vintage photo. Just try and get in there like that. Just ink this up as well, because obviously that's quite bright. Well, it's not bright, but you know, it looks quite bright because it's not distressed at all. So let me go in there, on here. Just do this little bit of fabric here, just so as it all looks a little bit more in keeping with, you know, everything else, I suppose. So as it's all nicely distressed together. Just okay. Yeah, I must have used white. Can you see white fabric for the underneath of my snippet, which of course, you know, if I were using filled in fabrics, that's absolutely fine. But when you use lace, then you may have obviously white, you know, bright white showing through. So I guess that's just something to be aware of, really. Okay. And I mean, there are times when you want white showing, or when you want it white, really. but yeah, probably not so much here. Right, just cutting off some of the threads. I don't mind some threads, but these are a bit excessive. So, right, there we go. Let me bring my journal back in. Okay, so that's really nice. And then I'm going to just bring that round and sort of glue it on the back as well, I think. So just before I glue it, I'm just going to make sure that I want, you know, how I want everything to look. So let me just move this out the way so it's not making that horrible noise across the desk. Right, let me check whether I might prefer one of my little Hawaiian flowers. And I've got some different coloury type ones. So as to layer them up, you know, and just make them look quite pretty. I'm not sure about that. That's quite nice. And then what I could do is, I guess, have a little bit of lace or something in that final layer. So I'm just going to cut this round. Oh, it's another really nice day here. So yeah, we just seem to have been blessed with like the most glorious summer. It's really been nice. I mean, literally, we've barely had a single horrible day. You know, literally hardly any. Which, I mean, that's just really, really unusual for here in the UK. We generally have lots of rubbishy days. So, yeah, we've been really, really lucky. I'm just wondering whether I could have that kind of poking out behind there, like that. And then I might just pop another really tiny piece of lace kind of in the middle. So, again, just taking my lace and cut that down. Cut it around. I mean, it's, you know, I'm not trying to make it a circle exactly, but just slightly rounded, I suppose. So if we put that on there like that, and then, oops, I picked up the wrong layer then. Yeah, I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? And then I could always ink that lace as well, so it was a little bit more in keeping. And I've also got some flat back pearls. I finally bought some, so I could use those. Just wondering whether we wanted green lace, so I'm just going to bring some green in. Right, let's just cut off like a really minuscule little bit. Just see how that goes. I mean, to be honest, that's so small that probably if I use a flat back pearl, that would just be covered up completely. That is quite nice, isn't it? So, right, what I might do is glue those layers together. So, whoops. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to glue them with my hot glue. There we go. Like that. And then I'm just going to have the layer of that lace in here. And we'll just have this layer of the flower there. So I mean, that lace is barely visible, as you can probably see, but just a little bit to add a bit more, you know, interest, I suppose, to the flower. And then we'll just have this lace here. And then I'm thinking this little bit of green, which, you know, like I say, I mean, it's barely visible at all, but, you know, even if you just had the odd little thread hanging out, it looks nice, doesn't it? So there we go. Right. Now let me just pull in my flat back pearls and just see how they look. They might look really rubbish with this, to be honest, but we could give them a try and see. So just behind my desk, so it won't be a moment. Okay. You know, and I might not even use this flower. It may be that actually this is not going to be the right flower at all, but just have a look. Oh, it's quite pretty, isn't it? Oh, what do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering whether we could have a dictionary definition on the front instead of a book plate. So if I just cut out this one, it says beauty. Let's just do that. Okie doke. Cut that down. Okay, right, let's have a look. I mean, that's kind of quite nice actually, because I was going to have the book plate. I mean, it didn't have to be this one, I could always get another one, but actually I think maybe a dictionary definition might be really nice. Do you know, I'm now not sure about that green lace, and that was the one piece that at first I was completely convinced by. Isn't it strange how sometimes, you know, your first things, then you're, you know, in doubt about. So let's just have a look. It may be that I feel it's too green for the piece. So now I'm wondering if we could layer that up with a bit of ivory, just to sort of tone it down a little bit. And then if we were to have the dictionary definition, just quickly have a sip of my tea while I'm sort of mulling this over. Oh, I'm not sure now. This one looks too big on there, so that's not quite right. I've got some skinny crochet lace here. That might be better. Could have it just poking out, I suppose, under there. Nope. Do you know, I don't know whether I like that scalloped edge, which is really strange because obviously I left that on there thinking, oh, that's perfect. But I now think it looks maybe a little bit, I don't know, a bit orderly, bit orderly, you know, for my liking. So let me just see whether I can kind of layer some things up more randomly, because I do really love the random sort of look, really. You know, I don't like it all looking really ordered, I think. Let's just check. Maybe that flower's wrong. Oh, I don't know now. Let me just have a rummage through my drawers behind me in my drawer of laces and see whether I've got anything just perfect there. Okay, so I have dug out a couple more bits now from my lace drawer that's behind me. This has been bought, but this, I think I received this in Happy Mail. And isn't it gorgeous? Somebody stitched on the strip of fabric onto this lace. I mean, I have to say, I love the lace, and I also love, you know, the look of the fabric as well. So it's only a tiny bit, but it looks really pretty, doesn't it? So I'm thinking that goes quite nicely on there. Now, what I'm going to do, because that seems to be coming away from the stitching, just going to glue that down, because I'm going to cut it. I only want to have like a little piece of it. So I'm just going to glue that down here, so that when I cut it, just in case the stitching sort of comes apart, and then I will forget. I'll forget how it looked. So I'm just going to stick that on there so as I don't forget, or, you know, so as I keep that effect, let's just say. So like that. Okay. And I'm just going to trim that here. And again, sort of trying to raggedy cut it a little bit so it's not too neat. Isn't that just so lovely? Oh, I love it. I've just kept like the most minuscule part, but actually I may have to do some of this because it looks awesome. Right, let's have a look now. So again, right, let's pull it all back in and kind of check again how it's going to look. I'm now thinking what I should do is coffee dye this, because then it would take on the appearance of that lace, but actually it looks quite nice now, just kind of with that lace coming out beneath it, doesn't it? So yeah, I don't think I need to actually. So if we have that like that, and then, I mean, I really loved that big flower, but now I'm thinking maybe, you know, maybe I'm having struggles with the big flower there. So maybe I should cover that up a bit. This one has got white in it, so, you know, this might not be really ideal at all, to be honest. I might try and ink this up and see how this goes inked up, you know, how that white looks. Oh, I really need to get out in the garden and do some coffee dyeing again, because I've got loads of things, like, you know, that I keep saying, oh, I really could do with coffee dyeing some of this, and I've still not done it. So yeah, I really need to set aside a day for just coffee dyeing in the garden. Okay, right, so that does look better now. It's kind of inked up, and now I'm actually thinking, shall I just get rid of that bottom bit altogether? I don't know whether it will come off. Thought it might tear off, but it doesn't want to. Let's just see. No, it still doesn't want to. I could just try and cut it, obviously, like a normal person. Just like a normal human being would, but where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? Right, so personally, I love how that looks now. So it's kind of got a bit of torn, you know, with just that edge there. So that looks really, really nice, doesn't it? Although I still, yeah, I was going to keep this, but actually I'm going to get rid of this whole piece. So no, I'm going to have to cut it. Okay, right, bin that. Okay, so I quite like how that all looks. And then, do we want any of this stuff here? Let's have a look. So obviously I keep pulling in these flowers, obviously determined to use them somewhere. But it, you know, it may be that it looks better without them, who knows. Kind of feeling like a bit of ruffle is needed, and unfortunately I haven't got any of the ruffle that's matching the journal left anymore, but I have got some of this, which I could just have somewhere. I could just distress ink this so it's, you know, a little bit better matching. So let's just try again. Okie dokie, and then let's have a look. Yeah, that's a bit better when it's inked up, isn't it, I think. Oh, I need to start committing to some of these pieces, don't I? Because otherwise I'm just going round and round in circles, I think, really. So do you know, I think it's this edge. It's not doing it for me. So, yeah, I'm going to cut this scalloped piece off. I don't like the way it's so solid on there. I know it's a neat edge, and, you know, that's really, really better than my normal standards. But for some reason, the neat just doesn't really work for me, I think. It looks better straggly and raggedy. So I've just cut that, and all I'm doing now is just tearing slightly along the edge so it's, you know, not sort of a neat cut line. So that, like that. And instantly I just feel better about that now. I don't know why, but that scalloped edge was just not working for me. Oops, now I put this up the wrong way. That was bound to happen, wasn't it, to be honest? Okay. Yeah, I do prefer that, to be honest. So what did I do with that? Is that inked bit? Is that inked bit? I can't even tell now. It doesn't look very well inked, does it? Okay. Well, it obviously was that, but very strange. Didn't really look that well inked. Okay. What do you think? such a nightmare, isn't it, when you can't quite put your finger on what, you know, what something needs. Right, let's just fill in these bits so that this is now flatter. Okay, so I'll just press these bits down so they're all nicely glued on. Maybe it's the snippet roll I'm not really liking, because I absolutely love this strip. You know, instantly I'm like, oh, I love that. Maybe it's this that I'm not so keen on. And now I've cut it down, so that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Well, unless I could have it running that way, I suppose. Let me just check. Oh, decisions. What do you think to that? Or do we prefer it? Maybe I just prefer it like that, to be honest. Then we could just have this maybe here. It's funny, isn't it? How, you know, sometimes you just can't quite put your finger on what's not working. Right, I'm going to just commit to this, because otherwise I just keep picking it up and moving it, picking it up and moving it. And, you know, sometimes it's just easy to just, or easier to just actually, you know, commit something to the page, because then you're not constantly moving it completely. Yeah, I love how that fabric looks on that lace. I'm going to do some of that, to be honest, I think, because it looks really good. I feel like I maybe was sent that by Celia, I think, but yeah, again, I don't want to offend people if I've now said the wrong person, but I really do like that. Right, so we've got that. Let me just have a look at this. This little piece that I just cut off of that curtain, because, you know, maybe we could have that somewhere else. Although I didn't like it here, it doesn't mean I'm not going to like it somewhere else. Can't decide. Oh, this is just getting silly, isn't it? You shouldn't really have two flowers on the cover, should you? That's just unnecessary and strange. So yeah, probably one is plenty. Let's just see whether... Ah, that's quite nice. So right, just going to glue this on. Just want it sort of poking out just behind this cream lace. So that's that. Okay. I'm going to have that one on there. That looks really pretty, doesn't it? So again, I'll just probably do this one now with the Fabri-Tac, I think. So just pulling that end off of the glue there. Okay. Yeah, it's a lovely day outside again, so we've been very spoilt with the weather lately. Right. Okay, so I'm loving those couple of bits there. Now, do we want anything else? Right, let me stand up and look down. I know I say this all the time, but honestly, it makes such a difference sometimes, because things look completely different, you know, with a different perspective. What do you think? Could have it like that. That's quite nice. Or maybe like that. Yeah, I quite like that, I think. So I'll put probably a little bit more down here. What did I do with that ruffle? Right, let me cut this ruffle down. Just in case we want any ruffle kind of anywhere. Oh, I quite like that. Yeah, I quite like that. I mean, it's, yeah, quite eclectic, isn't it? But I do like it. So let's just check which flower. I think this flower is quite nice with that contrast to the rest of the cover. So, right, I'm going to glue this down. Oops, I'm literally knocking everything on the floor as I move, so that's just not great, is it? Okay, I want to have this kind of curved a little bit. I like a bit of curved on my ruffles. So like that. Okay. And then our flower. Well, we could have it down there actually. I'll have a look at the flower in a minute. So I'm just going to pop this up here. Okie dokie. So just going round, you know, a bit of a curve there. And then we'll pop this one here like that. So again, I'm just going to glue all the sort of, well, not all of them, but you know, many of the filled in spaces. So like that. Okay. Like that, and pop that down there. Oh, that's really nice. Right, press that down. I'm sure that yesterday I got out a chipboard tile as well that I was debating about for the front. So I'll just have a look and see whether I can see that anywhere. Again, just snip off that little hanging thread. And then let's have a look. Oh, there we go. I knew I'd, you know, got a little chipboard tile out from somewhere. Right, let me put these couple of laces back in the drawer so that you've got less things to be looking at on the desk. So it's not looking so squashy and squishy on there. Otherwise, you know, it's very distracting, I know. So, right. So I'm thinking we could maybe have that little bird there. He's really sweet, isn't he? And then maybe finish it off having the flower there or here. Oh, I can't decide now. Gorgeous. Where do you think the flower should go, darling? Here? Or here?
There.
Or here?
There.
There. What do you guys think? Are we in agreement with my daughter? Has she picked the right place? Yeah, she probably has actually. Okay, right, let's pop this down, and I haven't glued in the centre yet, so I'm just, oops. Thank you for your help, darling. Just couldn't decide there for the minute.
I think that looks prettier.
It does look prettier there, doesn't it? Yeah. So we'll pop that there. And then the flat back pearl, we'll just put there in, oops, on the inside. Just get rid of that sticky bit.
That's super pretty.
Out of the middle. Oh, thank you, gorgeous.
Because they didn't have a thing in there, so I thought, why has the flower not got the bit in there?
Yeah, I'm just going to put the centre in. So I've just got this, these are called the flat back pearls. And I'm just going to stick that in like that.
There's the one.
Is that better?
All around the circle, but no, it's got flat back.
Just going to do a bit of ink in there. Right, and then I'm going to have the bird here, sort of almost like a buckle. It's obviously it's not a buckle, but sort of acting a bit like one. I've got hot glue threads now all over me, so that's why I have to keep on sort of pulling my hand out to try and get rid of them. There we go. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it?
So cute.
And then I'm just going to just add a little bit of extra glue here, so that this bit's glued properly down. There we go. Right, how does that look? Do we like it? And then on the back, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit, I think, of this skinny crocheted lace, just running up the edge, because that just then finishes that off really nicely. So just then, there we go, just run a bit of glue down there. Oh, you're having a cuddle on my shoulder.
Your arms are so nice.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Because they're really smooth.
Oh, thank you. Right. Gorgeous girl. Right, so we've got lace here now, just finishing that back piece off. And then for the closure, let's just have a look now. Well, I'm now just thinking, actually, we could do that snippet roll as a closure now. I mean, that was not my intention, obviously, but let me just see, you know, what section would look good on here. Probably, let's just have a look around. Right, so I'm thinking if I cut it here and here, and then I could just do like a little pop stud fastening. What do you guys think? Or do you think it would just look better with some nice lace or something? Just tying it around it. Let's have a look. So that's the snippet. That's just remember how the snippet roll looks. And then move the snippet roll out of the way. And then this would be the lace. I mean, we could have it even, we could even have it wrapped around this way, to be honest. I have done this a couple of times on journals, and it's quite nice for a change to just have it sort of tied around this direction. Let's just have a look. I don't know. Let me just have a look now. Just tying it the other way. And then I'm just going to double check with the snippet roll again. So, I mean, obviously I would cut this lace down. It's huge at the moment, but that might not be a wide enough piece of lace, weirdly enough. Right, let's just move the lace out the way. Bring the snippet roll back. Maybe that's not the right snippet roll. I've got that one as well. Oh no, I don't like that pink on there. Right. So I was thinking this way, so as we've got that price label, and probably trim it here. So that would be like the edge of it. And then it would come round and just, you know, pop stud here. Perhaps we'll do that. Okay, right, let's do that. So I'm just going to chop this down here. Okay, let me just now roll that snippet roll, you know, the remainder back up. Get that out of the way. Right, I probably won't film my putting the pop studs on because I am so not very good at hand sewing. You would just be bored to tears watching. So yeah, I will probably do that in a minute in slow time, I think. But yeah, all I'm going to do is kind of chop this off here so that I can fold this over like a hem, and then this section, you know, put some poppers on there so that it will do up like that. Okay, so I will go off and do that. Okay, so I'm back. Well, I'm glad that I did that off camera because it took absolutely ages to actually stitch that by hand. And as you can see, my stitching is pretty diabolical. So yeah, you really didn't miss anything. So I haven't tried it round here. Fingers crossed it's actually going to be the right length. This is where I find I've now, you know, not done it the right length. Okay. Okie dokie. So there we go, and that's the closure. I mean, it's got a little bit of a bubble there where I obviously have stitched the pop studs. One, you know, one end is closer than the other, but you know, it's a nice closure. Now, if I want to get rid of those little stitches, because, you know, like I say, my stitching is just so appalling, I could just maybe stick some flowers or something over those. So if I just cut these down, these are just some of my little flower trims. You know, I didn't make them obviously or anything. I could just pop one, might just have one there. And actually that one isn't so visible because that thread is like over the leaves. It's more, you know, visible this side. So there we go. Just pop that down there. Okie dokie. So that's that. So looking really pretty now. I mean, of course, could hang a charm or something on there. So again, let me just pull in some of my little charms and see what I've got in the way of little charms. I'm just having a look through because again, I have received lots of charms and things in Happy Mail. So here we go. They were just behind me on the, you know, in my drawers. So, oh, lots of pretty ones here. Oh, I don't know which one to use now. Quite liking those owls. They're really sweet, aren't they? Oh, that cute bunny. What do you think? I think the owl is pretty sweet, to be honest. Or the butterfly. No, I think the owl. That one or that one? That one, I think. No, that one. Yeah, that one, I think. So I'm just going to put these back away. Okay, and then I'm just going to attach that just with a nice bulb pin. Again, just, you know, nice and easy. Don't want to do anything complicated, you know, sort of jewellery making style. I mean, I do love all that, but oh my gosh, just beyond my capabilities. Now, do I want to have the charm up here, or shall we have it actually hanging from the snippet roll? Perhaps we'll have it there. Oops. No, I can't get that through. Oh, come on. There we go. It obviously it's quite thick now with the fabric where it's been doubled up, so I was obviously trying to put it through the 2 layers, which was then, you know, getting a bit thick. There we go. So you've got the little charm on there and the flower. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and yeah, I will probably come back and do a flip through, you know, in the next couple of days. So hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks then. Bye.